What's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Talking Figures. As always, I am Tony. I promise I have an interview for you. But lately I've been having some problems with StreamYard. I don't know if anybody else has been having problems, but the audio and the beginning was a little choppy and laggy. I don't know what the hell happened, but the rest of the interview was fine. I have no freaking clue. But the person I'm sitting down with today is named DripMode. You can head over to his Instagram and his YouTube. There you can see his amazing tutorial videos where he basically takes these figures that we love so much and he makes little movie sets for them. I think they're beyond dioramas at this point when it comes to what DripMode does. He has just an insane background with film and all this stuff, and he brought his level of expertise over to the toy community, and I had such a blast talking to him about all of it. And what a great dude. I can't speak more highly of this guy. Not to mention him and another guy were like inspirations for me to getting into making dioramas. So he was one of the first people I watched when I came onto the scene. I'm not even bullshitting you. Was DripMode, and I could not wait to speak to him. I could not wait, and I'm happy. I'm happy I did, man, because we had a great conversation. We're going to pick up with the interview right now, where I basically asked him the first question that I ask everybody. You know, where'd you start collecting? How'd you start collecting? Who'd you start collecting? And he just picked up right here. This is where the interview was kind of good and it stayed good. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. And right now, without further ado, let's take it over to my interview with the one and only DripMode.
So it was whenever it was a gift, and you just started kind of displaying them and stuff like that. But I think more it was, I want to say maybe 8 years ago, like
Okay.
maybe 3 years before the pandemic started.
Yeah.
I moved out here to Austin, Texas, and I was just trying to find new hobbies. And one of the toy collecting, I actually kind of brushed it off as you're growing up, and going
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
college and all that stuff. So you kind of put those things aside. So I saw that collection was still in my box, and I just, as I opened it, I was like, man, I forgot how much love I had for these guys, and what it did for me at that time. So it almost kind of like it was reborn, and it gave me that kid like wonder, like, oh man, look at these guys and whatever. So then, um, really, then what happened after that was NECA released the 1/4 scale Ninja Turtles from the movie,
I remember those.
and Mikey was like, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I was like, wow, finally we have this, this toy that comes from representation of the movie. And then little by little, kind of like you, like I was like, oh, let me see who else is collecting these toys and what's going on with this toy, and like
Yeah.
what rumors or anything, because I was kind of getting right back into it, seeing who's still here, who's gone, like name brands and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I saw this one guy that he had all of them, and he had a diorama. At the time, I didn't know what that was. I was just like, okay, this guy bought a display. Is this like Fisher Price? Like who bought? Like
Yeah.
who made this? And then I asked the guy, I was like, yo, where'd you get this? And he's like, oh no, I made it. And I was like, what? And that just blew my mind. Like I'm like, whoa, you made this.
Yeah. I know exactly
And
what you're talking about.
so like you nerd out, you kind of get
Yeah.
like a little bit obsessed. You're like, wait, and how did he do it? And then I started looking up people's, and I didn't know this existed, because when I think of dioramas, I think of like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, tiny
Yeah. Yeah.
little villages or little towns and stuff. And you always see the train set version, but you never see someone throwing action figures into the mix. And
Yeah.
so when I saw that, I was just like, damn, like, why is this all feel new? Like, what?
Yeah.
So learned it.
That's awesome.
I want to give some shout outs to some people out there, like Al Figures at the
Oh yeah.
time.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's kind of like the godfather, because he's been in the game for such a long time.
Literally took the
Um,
words out of my mouth because that's usually how I refer to him. I refer to him as the godfather of diorama making because he was the same exact guy that I just like when I got it. Same thing. I was just trying to see like what the you can world build at 112 because I'm thinking the same way you are, small, tiny things. I'm not thinking you could build at that scale. And
Right.
Al Figures was one of the first people that I was like, holy
Hmm.
crap, that was made. That was a diorama
Yeah.
for toys. I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit, man, that's crazy.
Man, I love the fact that we have people like him that
Hell
was
yeah,
not shy to share his little insights and all that
yeah,
stuff. And he did this one video where it was just talking about foam, and I was just
yeah,
like,
yeah. I remember that video.
foam. And like I was thinking at first, I'm like, wood. I don't have these materials to chop wood or
Yeah,
whatever that is, and or 3D printing or nothing like that. And then when he said foam, and then he did like a lesson with like this little corner or something of a street, and I was just like, I could do this. What? Like it
man,
just like all of a sudden I just started becoming a kid again and just trying to figure out how this material reacts and behaves, and from there it just became addicting. It was just like, okay, if I could do this, man, what else can I do? So
yeah,
then
hell yeah.
I started off with the Ninja Turtle one, the man, it's actually one of my first videos. I'm like starting the collection again. It's 1/4 scale diorama. It's humongous. It's up there. It's hard. Maybe I could.
I was,
It's up there.
yeah,
This
holy
guy,
crap, yeah,
my first diorama, and
that's like that.
it was honestly, it was therapy, man. Especially making a big move, like moving from originally I'm from Miami, Florida, moved
Okay,
to Austin, Texas.
okay.
Because I'm a designer. I work at Dell.
Oh, right on.
So like my daytime job, I'm also being creative. But
Yeah, yeah,
as I moved over here, I have no friends besides maybe one person, and then
yeah.
my hobbies and everything in Miami were completely different here. I couldn't find them. So I was like, I need to find something to. I've always been productive. So I was like, let me just try to find something. And this became like church. Like I
The
was
thing
just
for
like,
you, yeah. That's
mm-hmm,
awesome, man. That is awesome.
yeah,
Um, so what was the
yeah.
what would be your go-to line? Because I know you say you're big into the horror stuff, but
Yeah.
what was like what would be your like favorite line in terms of toys?
When it came to horror, it was definitely NECA. NECA
Okay.
was always the one that seemed to push the limit of like everything seemed very PG-13, like Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
He-Man, and then all of a sudden he throws Freddy and Jason, that brand, and I was like, what? This is crazy. So
Yeah.
Freddy was always my thing because he scared the shit out of me when I was little, but I embraced the guy, and
Yeah.
I fell in love with the character. So NECA was the only NECA, and like the collaborations that they did at the time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was like, man, I started collecting those, and then after that, I started discovering. Oh my god, what was the other brand? It was Soda Toys. I'm into like Street Fighter.
Yeah. I got you now. Yeah.
Sodas don't actually, they don't exist anymore, so they're
Yeah.
rare.
Very rare. Yeah. Very.
Very.
Yeah.
And
Are you into the like the Jada toys now that's coming out with the Street Fighters and stuff like that?
I started buying a couple of them, and then well, I feel like there's like a little war going on here because now you got Storm Arena
I see
came
that
out with
too.
the
Yeah.
same scale,
Yeah.
but the quality is like, it's Storm collectibles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like they brought it back, but they brought Street
Yeah. I
Fighter
saw
Alpha
that. Yeah.
3. So they have the little differences, but like Ken, and I'm like, man, they Arena took that right there. So,
Yeah.
but I still collect them. I still support it, especially that for it's been a while that anybody's made any Street Fighter toys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think beside no, McFarlane does Mortal Kombat,
Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Are you
but
excited that they're making a movie? A new movie for Street Fighter now.
so I just every single time as we're getting older, it's
Yeah.
like they're getting better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even Mortal Kombat, like the original Mortal Kombat movie, even though it could be corny, it's still like my favorite childhood,
Still holds up, huh? Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then like the new ones, you're like, oh shit, now we're getting closer to the things that we wanted to see when we were little.
Yeah. Facts.
So
Once the
no,
computer graphics and all that stuff comes up to where you want it to be in your imagination, it takes the movie to a
Yeah.
whole nother level, doesn't it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely the truth. Now I
Mm,
see you have a lot of action figures behind you now, or at least
yeah.
a lot of shelving space. Do all those shelves have like hold a diorama, or is it some of them just
Yeah.
shelves of figures?
Yeah. I mean, most of them have dioramas.
Yeah, right.
There's over 33 dioramas in this room.
Nice. Wow.
And I was really trying to make sure if I could make a diorama per shelf.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's just, I'm not gonna lie, it's getting crazy in this room because
yeah,
I used to have another room, and then I got kids, and then
yeah,
I gave that up, and then now I'm consolidating everything into this one.
yeah.
So it's really getting like crazy now.
It's like it's
But
starting to close in on you.
oh my god, I can't like honestly, like I can't make a diorama if it's not for a client. I gotta be
Okay.
very selective if it's for me, and like where am I gonna put it in the house, and
Yeah, yeah. Are
like
you that brings you to my next question. I'm glad that I would kind of segue right into it. But I'm noticing that at least nowadays, it's not so much the financial problem with action figures so much as it is the space. That's what's creating the problem within the toy community. Every person I talk to, they never complain about how much the toys cost. I mean, although they are
right,
starting to complain now because they're going up, but it's always they always say space is the enemy of the collector,
yeah,
it really sucks because you want so much, but you only have so much space to put it in. Like for instance, I have
yeah,
I'm big on the vehicles now. I knew that was going to
okay,
become a thing. Last year, I was talking to people about it. I said, "Yo, man, 2025, that's going to be the year of the vehicle. Like, everybody's going to start releasing vehicles." And they said it was crazy. They're like, "There's no way you're going to put all those vehicles." Here we are a year later, and there's a vehicle for almost every freaking thing now.
yeah,
And I have to now, like, I got all the HasLabs for GI Joe, and
oh,
most recent one, the Snowcat, I couldn't get because of space, and I
yeah,
still have the damn plane, the Rattler, in a box because where are you gonna put that? There's 3 feet. I don't. So it's
yeah,
just kind of one of those things where it's just like it becomes your greatest adversary is trying to
yeah,
find space to put all this stuff in. Like
yeah.
you could definitely world build on 112, but you need the space. It's just
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
it becomes very selective with that, and you're preaching to everybody's problem. It's not the price,
No,
it's the space,
yeah,
and the thing that it kind of at first it was like, okay, it's rare, right? Like
yeah,
this is it, right? But now, like for instance, Ninja Turtles, everybody's on it. Everybody
yeah.
wants to
That's
build
facts.
something,
Yeah,
and you get to a point you're like, I can't collect all of this. Like you gotta be like,
yeah,
no, I'm not collecting that one. I'll
yeah.
collect this one. And sometimes I even hate the companies because they'll build something that you're like, damn, she's dope. And like,
Mhm.
no, 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 don't get that, don't
You
get
can't
that.
have it. Don't go down that rabbit hole. I've done that a
Don't.
few times, man.
Ooh.
It's like I've noticed it recently where I'm kind of like, man, I'm gonna have to either start, like you said, consolidating, or you have to just start kind of saying goodbye to some things. Whether you have to sell it, give it
Yeah.
away, do whatever you have to do. Because, and this was me because when I first started collecting, I only started with Marvel Legends. I'm a big comic book guy, so Marvel for
Mhm.
me was like the go to for action figures.
Gotcha.
And then as you start taking pictures, you start building dioramas, you start to tell yourself, well, superheroes is cool when they fight the supervillain, but they need some like, other people to fight. So you start to look at other lines. Next thing you know, I said that because that's how it started for me. It started with Marvel, then I was like, well, what's this GI Joe classified? And then next thing you know, I got all the fucking GI Joes, and then I'm like,
Uh,
what's this now? Like, Jada
mhm.
Toys is making Street Fight, like, so like, and I come from the pro wrestling world, and the one
Oh,
thing
okay.
the one thing I told myself was do not start collecting wrestling figures
No.
because that is a rabbit hole that I will not I will not recover from.
Yeah.
There's just too
No.
many wrestling figures. And
Mhm.
this is what I was talking about. Like you start buying, and then before you know it, these lines they start rolling, and every month there's a new wave of figures.
Mhm.
And like you
Mhm.
said, you gotta get to a point. That's where I got to where you're like, well, it would be great to have the whole wave, but just pick the ones that you really need or want. Because in
Yeah.
the end, if you get because you want the whole wave, but there's like 3 or 4 figures in there that you really don't care about, now they're just occupying space that
Mhm.
you didn't really care about. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
it becomes such almost like so precious in terms of what to me, like it starts to mean more.
Yeah.
because the space is so limited, and now you're filling that space with that particular figure.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
figure has to mean a lot more to you than just, oh, it's in the wave. I
Yeah.
need it. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pretty impressive where we've come. And that brings me to my next question. Did you think in 2025, like we would be at this level with all, like, I mean, there's only but a few properties that don't have licensing in terms of action figures. Like
Right.
I can't believe how many action figures are here now. Are you in the same boat? Like, holy shit, how did we get, like you said, you see the 1/4 scale Ninja Turtles now, they have like every version of those Ninja Turtles at 1/12
Yeah.
scale. It's crazy. Like, how do
Yeah.
you feel?
Well, is I think there was a boom like during the pandemic. All of a sudden, all the toy companies went hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it was for a toy company. They're like, it's gold. Look at all these 80s babies with money. You
Oh,
know, they will spend $30 easily
yeah.
to get a figure that is it just talks to their childhood. I
Yeah.
know NECA did that. I got mad at NECA all the time. I'm like, yo, stop making these guys stop. Like it's just not fair. Like like
Yeah.
I'd rather have a drinking problem or something. Like
For real.
shit. But it became a. I even caught myself like I bought the whole wave. It was like a sickness with the holothon. You get it all, you find it, and then you buy it, and then you're like, awesome. And then you're like, wait, why did I just drop? Like out of all of these guys, I like these two right here and this. I'm just like, fuck. Like, why did
Yeah.
I get it?
Gotcha. Yeah, they
You
got
got me.
you. Yeah. That
Hmm.
happened to me a few times, like where I would get a wave because, maybe the build a figure was cool. And
Yes.
that was one thing that really upset me was they got rid of build a figures. But like when you would get it for a build a figure, like for instance, the most recent one, and I always bring this one is Blackheart. They had the
Okay.
Strange Tales
Hmm.
wave,
Yeah.
and there was about 3 or 4 figures in that wave.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, what the fuck? I all due respect, I don't. Dracula's cool, but I don't really care about Dracula. It's the same thing.
Hmm.
Like I don't, Storm, cool, but a vampire Storm, like what the fuck? I don't give, I
Yeah.
don't care. So
Yeah.
it's like one of those things where you got to start to weigh your options, and that's what I did. I didn't get Blackheart because I was kind of like, there's a 6-person wave, and 4
Hmm.
out of the 6 figures you don't really care for. You just want
Right.
the two, maybe,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't make it like the ends don't justify the means for me, where
Right.
I'm just kind of
Right.
like, you just can't do this, man. You just got to buy what you want. And, I kind of, and maybe I don't know if this happens to you, and I'll bring it to you in a second. Whereas, do you feel like sometimes you just got to be like, you know what? I think I'm done with this line for the foreseeable future. Let me
Yeah.
focus maybe on GI Joe, He Man, horror. Let me like, do you get to that point where like for
Oh
instance,
yeah.
do you get there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I did it to GI Joe. Like I caught
Okay.
myself, and I was like, and on purpose, I didn't open any of my GI Joes.
Oh wow.
I was like, you know what? For some reason, I have a couple of collections that are all in the
Yeah.
box. Like I got the McFarlane Stranger Things, all of
Okay.
them in the box.
Wow.
The GI Joes all in the box, and I was like, you know what? I have a feeling that I'm gonna buy this, but then I'm probably gonna get rid of this. Like, I have a feeling like I
Oh
just wanna just say that I have it, enjoy it, look at it, have it on my wall, and then
yeah.
if I have to consolidate, that's one collection that I had to come down,
That's
and
gonna
that
go
was the first
first.
one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How
Yeah.
far into GI Joe did you get before you said goodbye?
Oh, I want to say like 4 waves. I even bought the movie ones too when
Okay.
they
Yeah.
did the
Snake Eyes movie.
right, the Snake Eyes movie.
Yeah.
So, and then I caught myself. I'm like, these are cool. I liked it. I looked at it, but I was like, let me keep them in the box. And then
Yeah.
I had them all display. I had a wall where it was just like box toys I didn't open,
Yeah.
and it was nice because like I also appreciate packages too. Like
Yeah.
when
Yeah. But
someone really puts a thought to it, it looks nice on the wall. So, but yeah, GI Joe was one of them. Um, McFarlane, I have to stop. I I couldn't stand that he was making every Batman in the world, and he was getting creative with it, and I appreciate the creativity side of it because it's not tied to anything. It's just him just as an artist, because spinning off with his own ideas. So I
yeah.
appreciated that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then he starts getting you with the nostalgia because then he starts going through all the Batman movies,
Hmm.
and I was just like, "Oh, stop,
He got me
stop."
with that. He got me with that '89 Batmobile for sure.
Oh yeah,
Like,
oh yeah,
like when he
yeah,
released that came with the '89 Keaton, I was like, all
yeah.
right, that one. Because McFarlane, I have a literal hate relationship with McFarlane. Like I just because it just I first off, I'm a stickler for trying to make everything kind of scale together. I love to cross things over when I take
Right.
pictures and stuff like that. So like I want everything to scale correctly. And McFarlane does not do he does not do that.
He
Like
doesn't,
like
yeah.
Robin is the same height as Batman and Superman, and it's just kind of like, what are
Yeah.
you doing here? Like, and not to mention his articulation isn't the best. His detail is great.
Right.
Articulation is kind of less than desired. So I
Mhm.
just never really went down the McFarlane train. But when he started with the Batmobiles, that's when he got my attention. That's when I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what are we making here now? Like, okay, you got my attention now, but
Yeah.
I never went down the road with him because every time, like, I would buy it the McFarlane figure for like clearance because his figures were always clearance.
Yeah.
Um, you take them home and you take like I always was the belief. The only time I keep something in the box is either if it's a gift from somebody and I already have the figure,
Right.
or I bought doubles because I want it in the box just in case, you
Mm.
know. And I would always take his figures out of the box, and when I would take them out of the box, that's the first thing that they're hard to stand,
Mhm.
and the articulation is terrible,
Like, so tough.
terrible.
Ugh.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like this to me. I don't care how cheap he makes his figures. I won't, I won't give him my money because they don't scale. I'm a big Marvel Legends, GI Joe, and
Yeah.
a He-Man guy. So like I'm okay with He-Man being 7 inches because they're supposed to be the masters of the universe. I can understand
Right.
them being tall and buff, you know,
Right.
but
Right, right.
I cannot justify a Robin figure being taller than that. You know, like it just doesn't
Yeah.
do it, man. You
So
know?
funny.
So let me ask you this because we're eventually going to get into dioramas because that's really where I have so many questions for you. But
For sure.
what is what would you consider your grail piece? So if there was, God forbid, you had to get out of that house in a hurry, what would be the family's safe? You don't got to worry about your family. You got an option to save one figure in that room. What is the go-to?
Ooh, that's a tough one, man. Damn. One figure that I
Yeah.
would take out of here. Huh. That's a tough one. Eh. Oh, Akira. Yes, Akira.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah, I got the Bandai Akira bike and the figure.
Okay.
They're like what 1/16 scale.
Yeah.
The that's like that was my holy grail. Like when I
Hell
bought that guy, I was like, okay, I can stop collecting. Like I felt
yeah. Oh
that
yeah.
way. You
Yeah.
know, that
I got there
guy.
with Wolverine. Like I'm a big Wolverine guy.
Uh-huh.
You know, and when they started getting updated. When Marvel Legends started updating the articulation and getting rid of the pins, made it
Yeah.
all pinless. There was the astonishing Wolverine. I
Oh, okay.
love that. I love the look. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the story, but just the look of the figures. And I went and built my own astonishing
Okay.
X-Men team.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I was waiting for that Wolverine. You know,
Nice.
so when they
Yeah.
came out with that Wolverine, I immediately was like, "This is the one. This was the one I was waiting for. I don't need another Wolverine past this." Which between me and you, of course, I do.
Right.
But that when I got that one, I was like, this was the one I was waiting for." You know, I know some people will be like, "Really, Marvel Legends Wolverine?" But it's him, and I have Death from the video game Darksiders. It's my favorite video game franchise.
Okay. Okay.
And when I never in my wildest dreams thought they would make that an action figure because I just didn't think that video game was very popular. I just didn't
Uh-huh.
know. But you know, when you play a video game, you don't realize how many people are going to get into it. So when I played that one, I just thought for sure that I would never see an action figure line. I would never see anything
Mhm.
from it. And one day I was just scrolling on 5K Toys, and I just came across it. It wasn't like a licensed. It just said Abyssal Night, I think was what it was called. I
Okay.
just remember seeing that image and going, "Oh my god, that's Death from Darksiders," and immediately pre-ordered it. Didn't even register what the full price was going to be because it was a pre-order and you just had to put a down payment of like $10. Didn't even care. I said, "Whatever I'm paying, because I never in my wildest dreams thought I would have that in my collection. And immediately when it showed up and I took it out of the box, it was that one in Wolverine. I said to myself, if there is a fire in this house, you will save these two figures. Like, I don't care what happens, you will
Shit.
go out of your way to get at least these two out of the house safe. Yeah, it's always nice that whenever I ask that question, it's always different. It's what I love about that one question. Nobody has the same Grail, which is so cool. Everybody has it's always different for people. That's one of the things I
Yeah.
love about this toy space, man. We all have a common ground, and it's
Hmm.
toys.
Yeah.
But we are all very different people. We all have very different interests and things like that. So yeah, the toys
Right.
bring us all together, but it's what toy brought us here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I love hearing those stories, dude. So
Yeah.
so much, man. Let's fast forward now to when now you talk to Al's Figures, he gives you some advice, you start making dioramas. Um, After the first big one, which was the 1/4 scale turtles, when you started, what was the after you were done with that one, what was the like? Okay, that's let's get to this next one. What was the next one, and how did that start?
So it was weird as I got back into it. I
Yeah.
was at first I was just like, okay, well, let me collect the turtles. Then I started to collect all the 1/4 scale, Superman, the
Okay.
Christopher Reeve Superman,
Yeah.
then the Michael Keaton Batman, Penguin,
Yeah.
all those characters, and I was staying in that scale, and I was catching myself like, man, this is big, you know. So maybe I need to
Yeah.
reduce it. So I
Yeah.
went down to the 1/12 or 1/6 scale, and that helped me out on like maybe I'll build these guys. So I was starting to be at first because I had all the space in the world. So I
Yeah.
was like, all right, I'm gonna make these like signature pieces in my room,
Yeah.
and that like really picked up as I was doing video. I was doing the YouTube. Before I was doing toy figuring, I was doing vlogging as
Okay.
in my past career. I was into all the different types of photography, drones,
Oh, right on.
so
Okay.
because I did that for work. So
Yeah.
then I got into the hype of like everybody's vlogging and
Yeah.
using GoPros and all this stuff. So then no one gave a shit. Like no one cared about me. Like they're like, who's this guy? You know, and like no views. Maybe my parents or something like that. Like
Yeah.
just a couple of views,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, I started recording just any of my creations. I used to be a graffiti artist, so I'll do little murals here and there,
Yeah.
record them, and I
Right on.
catch that people are watching those videos.
Yeah. Hell
So,
yeah. Hell yeah.
and then I did this one, and boom, I saw the numbers grow, and I was like, okay, so people like how-to videos and
Big time.
hobbies.
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of like an epiphany because I was like, wait a minute, one of my like people that I look up to is Bob Ross.
Hell
Growing
yeah.
up watching Bob Ross all the time.
Right on, dude.
And
Same here. Same here, man.
right,
Yeah.
and,
Hell yeah.
and, and just sitting there and just watching his video, watching something being created. It even got me to the point where I'm like, oh man, you messed up the painting, and he's like, no, happy little trees here,
Yeah.
and
Hell
then
yeah. Every
it's
time.
still beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And you come out happy. You're like, man, that guy did it. Like,
Yeah.
and what blew my mind was his problem solving skill. Like, he will take something. It looked like he messed it up, but he didn't. He was just preparing for the next layer and da da
Yeah.
da. So,
Yeah.
that was like boom. And then to do that in this space, you know, I was bored. I was like, let me try to figure out how to do this. This
Yeah.
guy's using magnets. I'm watching videos, da da da. And then I'm like, oh, it's coming to life, and boom, boom, boom. And then that became the addiction. It was just like,
Yeah.
what else can I make? You know? And then
Yeah.
people were actually asking, hey, can you make me one? Da da da. So then I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care about the money, even though that's part of it too. I mean, I'm just thankful that people want to pay for it, but
Hell yeah.
the fact that I could build something and I don't have to keep it, right? Like that was pretty cool that someone now has a piece that I created,
That you made is one of a
and
kind.
right,
Yeah.
and one of a kind. And then for me to kind of still feel good about it, I was like, you know
Hell yeah.
what, I gotta record it. Let me
Hell yeah.
record it. At
Yeah.
least I got that video right there.
Yeah. You
And
got to document it, man. Especially like I said, because that's how I found you. Because when I got the dioramas, I was looking just for some ideas, and I'm a big I'll tell you the exact video that hooked me on your channel was I'm a big Wolverine fan,
Mm.
so I was looking for a containment chamber for Weapon X. I
Ah.
wanted to make my own. Like I had bought one off another toy guy by the name of Dallas James. He
Okay.
sold me like it was like in a fish tank deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was cool, but it was literally just the tank. Like it was just a fish tank. He put no detail onto it, only a little
Ah.
detail on the inside of the tank. There was no like it was just a fish tank when you look at it,
Right.
you know. So
Right.
it was cool in the concept, but the
Mm-hmm.
execution was very and I mean this with all due respect, was very bland because he didn't
Mm-hmm.
really add nothing to the outside. So I just was like,
Right.
what can I do to it to make it look like how it is in my head? And I just started looking on YouTube, and I found your
Yeah.
containment chamber video, and I was
Yeah.
just like, that that's what I saw. Like that's exactly what I saw in my head when I saw the tank, and I'm like, you can even though it's a fish tank and somebody like like you got it from this guy, you can add to it. Like you
Yes.
can make it how you
Mm-hmm.
want. You see it in your head. So he got the inside right. Now you do the outside. And
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, it was guys like you, guys like Al's figures that inspire me because I'm a sucker for like mad scientists and like laboratories and shit like that. And
Mm-hmm.
every time I would watch Al's figures, especially, like you would just see like he knew how to capture what you were kind of thinking. And I got that same thing from you. When I watched you, I was
Mm-hmm.
like he knows the little nuances, the little details that are gonna make that thing when you see it on a even if it's just on a shelf, you can't touch it, but you see
Right.
it, you're just like, "Oh, man, that looks spot on." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like it's I'm so happy that guys like you decided to document your process because for guys who are getting into this, and I've spoken to quite a few people who are like intimidated by like making dioramas because it could get pricey. You start buying supplies,
Mm-hmm.
XPS foam. You mess up enough times, you got to buy new foam enough times. It
Right.
does start to wear on you, right? But when you got guys like you, guys like Al, who you don't hoard the information. You share it. You
Right.
said this is how I did it step by step, and you can do it too just by watching
Yeah.
this and things like that. We need that,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like the same way when I started wanting to customize action figures, and I was watching a video today actually with the ring, the TV,
Mm-hmm.
and you customize the figure, and I remember thinking to myself when I was customizing figures, I was like, I need someone to talk to about this. And I went and I found a couple action figure customizers that came on this show and now I'm friends with. But even them, like they don't no one hoards information here in this toy
Mm-hmm.
space. And that's one of the reasons that brought me to it because
Right.
it was so welcoming. It's so like everybody shares their ideas and they're like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
tried this. Or what did you do? Oh, snap. Like and it's like a think
Right.
tank almost. It's not so much
Right.
like a competition, which is what I want. I don't want a competition. I want to
Right.
collaborate. I want to work together with
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it was seeing your videos and Al's. It was just kind of like, yo, like, and I'm not blowing smoke, but I'm just saying, like, you inspire people. You inspired me. You inspired others like me to try and do this. And while I will never claim to be a full on artist at this stuff, you guys were the ones who kind of made me confident in enough to be like, you know what? You did a good damn job. Because like you, I'm in the same boat as you. My hands need to be doing something. I want to be productive. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
just sit around and do nothing. When I sit around
Right.
and do nothing, I feel like you didn't accomplish nothing today. What the fuck, you know?
Right.
When you're
Right.
building something and you're making something, and then you see the end result and you have something to show for it, it just makes you. There's a level of pride there in the productivity. And you're
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I made a little thing for toys, but it's one of like I told you, one of a kind. I made that. No one
Yeah.
else has it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And out of all the dioramas you've been making, now I didn't even know you did commissions. I just thought you were making dioramas for yourself. Um, has there been a commission that you made where you were like, ugh, I don't want to give this away?
Oh. Oh yeah. The rooftop. That's like my number one video right now, and
Oh, the Ninja Turtle
uh,
one?
yeah, that
That
one.
was awesome. Yeah.
That was a nice commission, and the guy is cool as hell, and he was like, "Yeah, I want you to build this one," and I'm like, "All right." And as I built it, I'm getting to a point where I'm like, "Damn, this is looking dope." And, like, I'm here and I'm enjoying the process. And then as I'm done, I sat there for a while just looking at it, taking pictures, just
Oh yeah,
absorbing it. And I was like, "Oh man, this is good. This is not gonna stay here. Like, I better record the heck out of this
yeah,
creation because
yeah.
it really it also like, like it's kind of like life. When you go through an experience, you think you know who you are, but then once you go through an experience, you there's another level of
Yeah,
yourself that you just
you learn about
right,
yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
right. So like even creating that, it pushed the boundaries. And like there was even areas of that build that I remember I sat there and I was just losing sleep just trying to think about how can I do this without spending more money, with just
Yeah,
using the things around the house and try to accomplish like this. Like the ladder was the one that, believe it or not, I'm like super proud of that ladder because all I used was straws. And
that's
I,
sick.
I couldn't believe it. I
Yeah,
had found these little tiny magnets and they clicked and everything. And I was just like, when I built them, I was like, damn, I built this thing. Like, what
this is a
the?
level of pride. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're just
yeah,
like, damn, okay, I could do this. Like,
yeah,
what else can I not do or can't do? So that's what I want to promote for everyone is no matter what level we're in, even if it's just cutting foam, just I want to show you so that you could feel confident,
yeah,
and then you get that same feeling that I got. Even in my level, I'm just like, wow, I made this happen. Like making bricks, simple things, right? Weathering the bricks. I remember just that. I was just like a little kid, just giggling, like, damn, this shit looks dope. I did
yeah,
this, right? And you don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be an artist. You just have to be willing to try it.
yeah.
And
I've said that
and
to a couple of people. It's like you don't have to be a full on artist. You just got to have a little bit of creativity. It
Mhm.
just has to be a little bit, a little spark.
Yeah.
You don't need an inferno. You
Right.
just need that little bit of, oh, okay, I'm willing to take the time to
Mhm.
fuck up, because that's really what it boils down to. Like you
Yeah.
could be successful. It's how you handle the fuck ups.
Yeah.
That makes you like I said, when you get to that finish line, if you get mad and quit, then you'll never have that level. Like you said, when you look
For
back and you go,
sure.
holy shit, this was a learning
Mhm.
process. So it's like you got to understand that when it comes to at least, and this is what I learned, and it was like a game of patience, because
Yeah.
I would watch and I just be like, man, you ain't never gonna get to that level of detail. Like you'd say that to yourself because everybody has like an insecurity or whatever it is, but like
Right.
you would just sit there and I'd listen to you and I'd listen to Alan. It wasn't never like this is too hard, don't do it. You guys were always like, try, fuck up, mess up. This is what it's about. This is what that's
Mhm.
what art is.
Yep.
Art is just like you said. Bob Ross always fucked up almost on purpose. Sometimes I felt because he wanted to show you. You think it looks messed up now, but wait until you correct it,
Right.
and it changes the whole dynamic of the image.
Mhm.
And that's what
Right.
that's what art is, man. And like I
Yep.
said, watching you, just like I said, not hoard. Just be like, hey man, this is what you do. This is how you do it. Take your time.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
like that. Like when I did my brick buildings, and it was the simple detail of taking a rolled up piece of aluminum foil or like a rock from outside and just rolling it over a diorama. And
Mhm.
it goes from, at least in my opinion, it goes from a piece of foam to when you put the lines in and just simply rolling that. It
Yep.
completely changes. It does not. It doesn't look like foam no more.
Right.
You're like, oh, I don't even paint this thing yet.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like that. When I got to that level after watching you guys, and all I did was roll that thing over, I was like, you know what? They are right. You can do it. You don't
Mhm.
have to be a
Right.
sculptor or an artist, a painter. You can do this by just applying yourself.
Right.
And it's
Right.
one of the messages that I don't think you guys get enough credit for. That's why when
Appreciate that.
you guys come, I'm gonna have Al's figures on here in a couple weeks, and he's gonna get the same spiel. Like I'm gonna tell him the same thing. Like you guys, you don't realize what you're doing when you're documenting your videos. You're just doing it for yourself.
Mhm.
Like I need to document this for me because it's such an awesome piece. I want to make sure I have this
Right.
documented. But you're not realizing what it's doing on the other end of that computer.
Yeah.
Like when it goes out to the ether, you don't
Yeah.
realize that there is thousands of people that are watching it now and going, I want to pick up some XPS foam now because of what this
Mhm.
guy just showed me. And it's just, you're right. You don't have to be an artist, man, but damn it, it turns into art.
Yeah, right.
I,
Anyone can make it, right? Anyone
hell
can make
yeah,
art.
man. Hell
So
yeah.
so I
But yeah,
if I could leave this earth knowing that I helped you get creative and be positive and express what you want to create, then I did my job. You know, then that's
hell yeah, dude. And I think you guys don't, like I said, you guys don't get enough credit. You like enough people don't shout out the dio structure, because that's like I found dio structure, the Facebook, which led me to YouTube, which led me to you and Al and all those guys. This is like I said, you just go on these groups, you're just
right,
trying to see if anybody's like you. Is
right.
anybody gonna like have the same kind of like mindset, or is anybody kind of in the same boat? And upon doing that, you find these groups and these communities where you're like, holy shit. I didn't
Hmm.
realize that we are all on the same page. We are all on the same boat. We just haven't found
Right.
each other yet, you know?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that's the reason. Like, and I tell everybody who comes on here, the reason I started this show is because I wanted to make friends with the people who inspired me. So I
Awesome.
just wanted to say, like, now that I know drip mode,
Yep.
it's like that's when I started this show. It's like I want to meet these people because I want to pick, not only pick their brains, but I want to come out of it knowing that I made friends with someone who inspired me, and they know what they did. And that's why I had to go out of my way to, whether it was message you 100 times on Instagram to make sure that you know, but whatever it was, to just let you know, man, yo, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have a channel. And I'm not saying my channel is very successful. It's growing every day, which is
Right.
fantastic, but that's not why I didn't start a channel to become famous. I
Right.
started a channel to make friends. And
Hmm.
you know, I've I've never been happier with this thing, and it was because
Right.
like I said, it's because guys like you who when I messaged you, there was no there was no delayed response. You hit me up, you were like, "Yeah, I would love to come on and talk." And man, like I said, I can't thank you enough. Like it's stuff like that, man, that you need more credit, I think. And like I said, that's all the smoke blowing I'm going to do today. But I just wanted to let you know that, for real, from the bottom of my
Yeah.
heart, like you did. You might not have, you don't know that, but I don't know how many people you inspired, but I know you inspired me. So as long as you know that, I need you to know that. So
Appreciate
yeah, man.
that.
When you built that Wolverine tank, was it a process? Did you have any mistakes? Were there learning things there, or was it
Uh,
smooth?
Yeah, yeah. The Wolverine one, I did a lot of homework on that one just
Okay.
because um I was debating like do I so the reason what inspired me was I saw somebody build Jason underwater
Okay.
being hung with the rock and the chain,
Pain, yeah.
and someone threw like a goldfish in there. So I was just like, oh, that's pretty dope. And then I saw dioramas for goldfishes and for fish tanks. So that's pretty cool. Okay,
Yeah.
that's stepping into another realm. And then I was like, what? Who would I do that to here? Da da da. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I have Weapon X back there, just in a empty little cylinder, boring as hell, that I've been wanting to hook up.
Yeah.
So then from there, I was like, okay, let me try just using a simple cylinder. What are the pros and cons? Like if it trips over, it starts spilling water, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Then I started looking at what's out there. Like let me see what anyone has created, and I
Yeah.
saw this what's it called, the I think it's the jellyfish lamp,
Yeah.
um
Yeah. Yeah.
and I didn't know it existed, so I was like, let me go look it up, and it was $14. I was like, that's a great base right there. And
Yeah.
then I just started looking at, there's a couple guys that do 3D printing of that thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
that it looked pretty dope, but I was just like, let me put my ticket. I saw a couple people buying that one, so I didn't want to just buy that one and just paint it. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, so now I got an idea. I did look into Hot Toys, and I saw there was this beautiful one. It's like humongous of Weapon X,
Oh wow.
and that one inspired me. And then I started going on Pinterest and started looking at tubes, started looking at industrial like pieces, just to try to get that realism. And then I started looking at the comic books, try to tie it all together somehow. And then let me add my take to it. Let me throw my details on it. And then boom, like it became. And then I was at first I was content. I was like, okay, this looks fine. I'm getting the giggles. I'm like, okay, it feels good. But then I'm like, I still haven't gotten that like, oh shit, feeling. And
Yeah.
then so then I always play with Legos.
Oh yeah,
Not like Legos itself to build stuff, but like to use it for components for the dioramas. And I found a screen. And actually, I think this guy right here. This little screen right
oh
here.
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
all of a sudden
Lego.
it's a Lego. Yeah, this is all this
Wow.
right here is a Lego. This is all Lego right here.
Oh shit.
And
Okay.
so I always promote like go to Bricks and Figs. You could buy a little sandwich bag of Legos for like, and you can fill it up with whatever you want for like $5.
Yeah.
So I just started buying like little things that I knew I could use for dioramas, antennas, steering wheels, little
Yeah.
little things here and there, especially for street dioramas and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just started just freestyling, having fun with it. I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's not to the T to the comic books, like it's okay to do kind of variation of it. And it just started developing really well. My biggest thing was, am I gonna fill it up with water? And then
Yeah.
I did for a little bit, and then it started getting a little bit building a little bit of algae or some type of thing there. So I was like, you
Mhm.
know what? I don't need the water.
Yeah.
So I was able to take it out without the water and then put like these stickers that look like bubbles or like drops.
Oh shit. Okay.
And you put them on there and it gives you the feel like you got water inside of it.
So yeah, it's
And
like the illusion. That's
it's
brilliant.
the illusion. It's the illusion.
Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Brilliant move. Because like that was my problem when I got the tank from Dallas. It's cool. You put the water in, you see the bubbles, and you're like, that looks so cool. But like you said, you leave it for a day, a week, a month, and then things start happening. Then that fucking water, it gets stale and stagnant and gross.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, now don't get me wrong, I have like four or three or four Weapon X's already.
Nice.
So it's kind of like, well, yeah, you can leave him in there and he can get algae and all that stuff, but then you just completely ruin the figure and
Yeah.
you just got to toss it, So it's like,
Yeah.
just dump the water, and if you ever need to shoot it, then
Right.
then just put water in it. You don't need water
Right.
while it's on the shelf,
Mm.
but it's just cool things like that. I saw that Jason one too, by the way, and I thought that was badass when they put it on the rock and the water. And I'm not a big horror guy, but like things like that, I'm like, when I take pictures, I'm very practical. So
Mhm.
if there's a water element, I want actual. I know it's messy, but I want the water
Right.
element. I want it to look real.
Right.
Like if I'm gonna do fire, I obviously got to be safe, but I would like to use real fire, like a candle or whatever
Right.
it is. I've actually gone out of my way to make actual torches. I took a stick, wrapped it with cotton rope, and just soaked it in bacon fat for a
Mhm.
day, and then you just light that fucker, and it stays
Oh,
lit.
wow.
Yeah, and it just stays lit for a good amount of time before the rope starts to burn away.
What?
But yeah, I would get like a legit fire. I was like, because I would say to myself like, no one else is doing that. So when you're taking a picture, most of the time either they put it in through Photoshop or
Right.
it's like just like a fake, like the toy's got like fire effects or something like that, and you just put a light.
Mhm.
And that's
Right,
fine.
right,
I've done that before. It's good. But
right.
it doesn't do the same like when you see an actual fire there and it's creating
Right.
its own ambient light, and
Yeah.
it's creating a dramatic effect with shadows and everything like that. You can't, I mean, you could do that with a light bulb. I'm not saying that you can't, but it just doesn't. Like
Right.
it was when I did it, man. I put a bunch of torches around a campfire with a little campfire, and the fire dancing, like the way the light would dance off the figures. You just
Mhm.
you don't
Those
get that with
details.
a light bulb.
Right.
Like it just was
Right.
stuff like that. So I'm a big sucker for like practical effects. So when someone makes a tank that you put Wolverine into, my knee jerk response, the first question is, can you put water in there? Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
does it work?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm seeing the image, I'm
Mhm.
seeing the video, like, does it do that? Because that's really what I'm looking for. So when I saw your tank, the fact that you can add water, I didn't know you used the jellyfish one. See, the one I got was for a single fish. So the one
Oh,
you gave
okay.
was like for like those beta fishes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was for that.
Mm.
To know, because I have one of those jellyfish tanks. My wife has one, and we buy the same thing. It's $14. My wife likes jellyfish. I was like, here, I never even put two and two together. To like put a
Yeah.
figure in there never occurred to me. So
Mhm.
it's good to know you
Mhm.
can do that, man.
Yeah.
Um, do you Do you have any desire to do stuff like that with practical effects? Do you like? Did you like fucking with the water? Would you like?
Yeah, actually, like sometimes I'll do is I'll get like baby powder,
Okay.
like just kind of like blow on it, and then I'll get like a black and mild and just like throw it really lightly on the desk so it could linger on the bottom, so
Right.
it has that like little effect
The
that I
fog. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I'll do stuff like that. They started selling these cans that have like a mist,
Yeah.
so stuff like that. I never got into the. I've seen people use like fireworks when,
I've
especially when
done
they
that.
do like Star Wars
Yeah, I've
for
done that too.
photography.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done it.
I've never gotten to that extent. But I would definitely mess around with like powder, with smoke,
Yeah.
a lot of lights,
Oh, yeah.
and what else? Yeah, I think that's about it.
I got the
Really.
little that little, it's like $100, that fog machine.
Yes.
I got that,
Mhm.
and it was probably one of the best investments I made in terms of like, because it has that lingering, like you said, like the
Mhm.
low laying fog that just stays.
Right.
You
Right.
know, that's really what I mean, I'm a big sucker for that too. I love the effect of fog and like
Mhm.
weird looking stuff like that.
Right. Right.
But I when you said you have a background in photography, when you did that lead you to shooting toys, or did you always have a desire to shoot toys?
Actually, so I was actually so I made like a change in my career, right? Like I
Okay.
was always in video production,
Yeah.
special effects, After Effects, all that stuff
Yeah.
for like 13 years for
Okay.
like a
Wow.
multimedia company in Miami, and doing all types of stuff on green screen, and it was fun. It was fun, and now I do user experience for computer software.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing changed, and my like it's still art, it's still design, but it's just a totally different need for video.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the one thing I wanted to do is keep that going, like don't lose the momentum of something that I've used for such a long time. So
Yeah.
I started to apply what I know into like toy photography and
Yeah.
video. I saw Al Figure record. His is very raw. Like he is just like, I got a camera in this room. You
Yeah.
feel like you're there with him, and
Yeah.
that's it. It's just him just having a good time creating.
Awesome.
I wanted to, like, as I was building it, I felt like at first like my videos were kind of sloppy. It felt almost like Blair Witch Project, where it's like just handheld cam
Yeah.
and all over the place,
Yeah.
and it didn't have any structure. So I wanted to. I'm like, wait, come on, Jared. Like, yeah, you have a professional eye for this. Let's treat this as a production.
Yeah.
Let's give it an intro. Let's come up with a nice jingle,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
those things become things that like they
Stand
play back
out.
in your head, right?
Yeah. They stand out. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to, as I was like, okay, this is becoming something new. So then I gave it a structure. I wanted to make my life easier to make a template of like, we're gonna work on we're gonna talk about the subject first, and then we'll break down the materials, and then I'll just show you all the steps and record the heck out of it. And
Yeah.
then
Hell yeah.
at the end, and I've always seen this with people not like out figures, where they just built the final idea, and they just showcase it, and that's it. They don't talk about it, they don't tell
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
how they did it. They just show the final piece, and I enjoy that too. But like I want to know, like, how'd you make that thing, or
Yeah, what'd
like,
you do?
right,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
resin blew my
Yeah.
mind. I was like, what the heck is this resin thing? And
Yeah.
I figured it out because I actually started becoming a little
Search.
stalker and looking at
Yeah.
everybody doing their stuff. Um so yeah, so I wanted to. I was like, damn, I haven't seen anybody out there create a video where it's like, it feels like a almost like a course, but it feels like you're talking to one of your homeboys, and
Yeah.
then at the
Yeah.
end you're gonna nerd out with like, damn, okay, that's the outcome. And think of like a little kid when we were playing with toys, we would make up shit, right? We would make up
All the
like
time.
the
Yeah.
sofa was a
Yeah.
building, right? So like I wanted to actually kind of build that final outcome as an adult with all these creative
Yeah.
ideas, and then at the end, just kind of tell you guys how anything that you guys needed to know about creating it. I exposed it. I
Yeah.
showed you even a final production of it by
Yeah.
using video cinematography, using depth of field with camera lenses, and then making sure that everything that I'm using are things that I just found around the house. And that was the other thing too, because
Yeah.
it's expensive to go on the like.
It sure is.
I mean, like I'll give you an example. Like I know a lot of the people in this game now are getting into 3D printing, and I think
Hmm.
that's dope because it streamlines a lot of things.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
get real accurate things. But I'm like, I don't want to go there because then now it's easy if I
yeah,
have this thing, right?
yeah. It's
I,
just
I
easy to kind of just hit print and then just
mm,
wait 7 hours.
right. It takes away the joy of like let me create it from scratch, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That was the thing that like I had gotten a 3D printer about a year and a half ago. I did a little bit. I was a resin printer, and it was cool. Like I got a couple successful prints out of it, and it was awesome. But there was so many more failed attempts than there
Mm.
were successes. And I got to a point where I was kind of like, you know what? At this point, I would rather just try and make it by hand
Mm-hmm.
because the risk is not worth the reward. Like it
Right.
fails too much, and the fact that it keeps failing just makes me not want to not want to bother with the thing at all.
Right.
So
Right.
just kind of and not to mention, like you said, like I know a couple of 3D printers now because of all of this, and even just asking them, you already know how much like it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like because like especially if you're collecting GI Joes, they have all these third party 3D sellers now for just
Mhm.
Joes, like Gridiron Studios. They have this truck, and it's like $400, and you're just kind of like, well, I can just maybe go to a thrift shop, find like a remote control car, or find a car, and just
Yeah.
kind of build off of it myself.
Mhm.
And it was at as cool as it is. Don't get me wrong, 3D printing is awesome, and it has
Yeah.
advanced us in terms of like where we are. But the price and the learning curve that
Right.
comes with it when you get your own. It either, and I said this to somebody else who wanted a 3D printer. I said either you're all in or
Right.
don't bother.
Mhm.
'Cause if you're gonna go all in with it, then you need to learn. Because that
Yeah.
was I didn't respect it. I just thought you hit a
Mm.
button and you just wait. I didn't realize I didn't realize
Yeah.
that it has to be level. The temperature in the room has to be a certain like, there's all these factors that I I just
Wow.
think you hit a button and it goes, like, I'm not realizing that there's a lot to it. It's its own
Mhm.
art form
Right.
than
Right.
everything else, so it just became a point where I was kinda like, "You know what? Just hand build things."
Mhm.
That's really where you feel like you just said, I can hit that button all the live long day and it'll print and it'll be cool. I can pop the print off and, oh, look how nice this is, and just paint it up. It's not the same as when you went step by step. I cut this out. I did the detail. I
Right.
put it all together, then painted it. Like that
Mhm.
to me, that's a whole level of productivity that the 3D printer just doesn't give you. Now,
Right.
I will say this: if I had to invest my money anywhere, it would be in a laser cutter because
Oh, okay.
cutting sometimes. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you've been here, but cutting
Yeah.
shit sometimes because I don't
Yeah.
I have, like, I got hurt about 10 years ago, so my neck is all fucked up. I have
Okay.
some nerve damage. So, my hand sometimes just has a mind of its own.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay. I
sometimes
got you.
you can't get, like, that precise cut or that precise
Mhm.
line, whereas a laser
Right.
cutter will do that, and you could still put everything together and paint it and still
Right.
have that process. It just cuts the cutting out, which to
Right.
me sometimes is my greatest enemy because my hand just,
Yeah.
like I said, just kind of quits on me sometimes and it sucks.
I feel no, and I think that's a good idea. Like I didn't think about that. Like I never thought about getting a laser cutter because I've seen laser cutters for logos,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're so precise, and you're like, man, that would have been easier with the laser cutter. But
yeah.
I never thought about it with dioramas, or I would go about it a different route with like instead of using plastic or metal, I would use like a Bristol board that's a little bit
Hmm.
stronger,
Yeah.
or like um balsa wood. You know?
Hell yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was thinking because, like, I love the XPS foam and all the possibilities with it. But
Hmm.
sometimes, man, just a simple drop of the figure will dent it, will crack it,
Yeah.
and then you
Right.
have a giant pink or a green
Hmm.
divot in your foam, or in your diorama, and you're just kind of like, fuck.
Yeah.
Whereas like, because I also did cosplay for a while. Like I got
Oh,
into cosplay, I was commissioning costumes for people, and
nice.
I got very comfortable with EVA foam, which is that
Okay.
that soft
The
open cell.
white.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I started making buildings out of that. And
What?
I thought to myself, like, well, if I drop a figure, if it falls, there is no cracking. There is
Mm-hmm.
no breaking.
Right.
It just bounces essentially because it's
Right.
soft foam, and I it became the standard for me where I would because
Oh.
I'm so comfortable using EVA foam because of cosplay. The transitioning it over to diorama work, the only thing you have to do with it is it has to have a solid base behind it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking like when you said balsa wood, I'm like, yeah, using wood or something just a little bit stiffer to hold that stuff in place, and then a laser cutter can just put lines in the EVA foam for you. Because the brick lines is really what drive me crazy. Because like I said, when my
Mm.
hand just kind of quits on me, that's when you get the line that skews off,
Right.
and you want to rip
Right.
your fucking hair out. Um, but I now don't get me wrong, I still use XPS,
Yeah.
but EVA foam to me became a viable second option if needed. Like you said, you just
Mm.
look around your house for stuff, and that's what kind of did
Right.
it. I was looking around my house, I saw a roll of EVA foam that had just been sitting there for my cosplay days, and I was just like, well, I really don't want to go to the store to buy XPS foam. I have
Mm.
this. I have some MDF board or MDF, right? That's what it is.
Okay.
Um, and I was like, let me just glue this to that and then draw it, and it came out very good. I was very impressed with
Ah.
how it turned out. So, like, again, it boils down to, like, being creative
Right.
and, like you said, trying something different. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you could go the easy route, but sometimes the hard road is the smart road because that's how you're gonna learn the most lessons. You could
Absolutely.
take that shortcut, 3D print, laser, you could do all that, and yeah, hell yeah, it makes life easier. But
Right.
sometimes going down that long road, it'll make you appreciate the 3D printer and the laser
Right.
cutter even more because you dealt with all that bullshit, like all the
Mm-hmm.
cutting and now you got it easy. Like, fuck. Remember that,
Yeah.
like a year ago, I'm doing this by hand. Now this thing's doing everything for me. So like I
Yeah.
always felt like all this stuff that's making life easier, before you run down that road, you should do it the analog way first
Right. Right. Right.
so
Right.
that you have a knowledge of it because
Absolutely.
you should have it. Like, if the printer stops working tomorrow, you're gonna have to go analog anyway.
Absolutely.
So it's just
Yeah.
easier to know it that way. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
listen. If I would highly recommend a laser cutter for you. It would probably streamline your process in terms of, like, at least cutting out that part because
Right.
everything would be cut out for you. Now all of a sudden you just go, shit, I can just put it together now.
Well, it's funny you said that because like so like now my diorama building has been very very selective now. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
before I was building like at least once a month.
yeah.
Now I'm building them like once every 6 months, right? And then so I'm actually building one right now, right here
Oh
next
yeah.
to me.
Okay.
And you see it's right there.
Nice. Is
And
it a commission or is it for you?
no, it's for me. This is for me.
Okay. Right on.
I've been having this fire escape for a while, just sitting there.
Yeah.
And then my daughter was asking me like, when am I gonna build that? I was like, you know what, damn, thank you for motivating me. So, but my point is that like I cut out brick by brick by brick by brick, right? This has been 2 days of just me laying every brick by brick by
Brick by
brick by
brick.
brick.
Goodness.
Yeah, yeah, and the reason for it was because like okay, I of course I'm good with the pencil and creating
Mhm.
the bricks, how everybody's doing it, but I was like, you know what, like the one thing that really makes it stand out even more is if you actually built it like someone would build it in real life,
In
laying
real
brick by
life. Yeah.
brick.
Yeah.
So and then I want to play a little bit more with what's it called, that filler, it's kind of like gesso but or like a plaster where you put it in between the bricks and it fills
Yeah.
it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to do that on purpose. I want to get that realism out of it. And
Oh yeah.
and like even my wife was like, why are you doing it this way? And I'm like, I want to like this is like therapy. I want to like
Yeah.
really try to step into that next level
Oh yeah.
that I know I could do it in other ways, but I'm like doing it this authentic where like I'm doing even mistakes with like how I'm laying it.
Yeah.
It makes it more authentic.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes it more
And
realistic.
right, and that's where like I'm getting that high. Like I'm like, yeah, like even though it's 3 a.m. and I'm laying these dumb little bricks like a crazy person, but it's
Yeah.
just
It's
coming
it's
out.
but again, it's like you took the hard road, you took the long
Hmm.
road, and now you're appreciating the process, you know?
Yeah.
Because like for years, I thought about that, cutting it out brick by brick by brick. Because that's the same exact mindset I had, where it was just like, I like the idea of doing it brick by brick because there's a level of realism that drawing lines doesn't have. Like
Right.
if you draw the line great, it's precise. Everything's precise, straight lines.
Right.
Whereas if you've seen people's brickwork, sometimes they ain't the best. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you want to see fuck ups, you want to see uneven bricks and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Because if anybody, especially I'm from New York City, so like you see that kind of level of craftsmanship
Yeah. Yeah.
all the fucking time. You know, like so
Yeah.
that to me, and again, people would appreciate that process when they hear
Mhm.
that you laid this in brick by brick. There's a different level of respect that you give from when you just like, yeah, Drew, I
Oh
just,
yeah.
I scored the line. Like,
Right, 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 right.
yeah,
But like because everybody and I tell everybody this, like if you want to get into diorama making, the first tutorial, make some bricks, right? Get a
yeah,
ruler, get a pencil, make some bricks. That's the first one, right?
yeah,
So then like as I'm getting every time I'm working on something, I'm like, let me get back to the foundations. Let me warm up because I haven't built one in like 3 months.
yeah,
But then I'm like, instead of me just wanting to like, let me take the basics and let me step it to another level. And I'm like, let me
uh,
lay it one by
yeah,
one.
yeah,
So it's taking the basics to another level,
hell yeah,
and it's coming out pretty well because the other
awesome,
thing too is I was online and I was like, you know what? Let me look up brick making. Let me see how other people are doing it. If there's any other new way. And I kept going back to the guys that are making like little miniature World War II
yeah.
dioramas.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I watch those all the
And
time too.
and those
Yeah,
guys are just like crazy detailed and
yeah,
realistic. And so those guys are now inspiring me more a little bit now because I'm here like, okay, I'm trying to make this for the Ninja Turtles, the 1989 Turtles.
right on.
uh but I'm here like I'm watching the movie. It's dark, it's grimy. I already did the rooftop
Yeah,
scene, so I'm like, let me get that. Let me pretend I'm building that rooftop diorama again, but now I got to take it to another level.
level. Yeah,
What's the next thing I have to do to say that like I stepped it up from that one, and
yeah, yeah.
what else can I do to it? So that was one
Are
thing.
you recreating the scene where they're fighting up the fire escape? Is that the scene
Yeah,
you're recreating? That's
yeah,
awesome, dude. Hell yeah,
yeah,
man. That's
yeah.
fucking
Dude,
crazy.
I built I had to like I went hunting. And I bought like what I think it was like 12 of the windows,
Yeah,
and then like it's actually on balsa wood. So I've even this is gonna be a wall piece. Like
yeah,
I even built like the little floor where I'm gonna put like a garbage can and all that.
yeah,
But this is huge. Like it's bigger than my table,
yeah. It looks big.
and it's coming out like it's coming out
That's
sick.
amazing. Yeah, that's
Coming out
amazing.
sick. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
you literally said. Now let me ask you this: um, in terms of bricklaying, the brickwork, do you think that way that you're doing right now looks better than drawing the lines, or do you think?
so like you mentioned, like there's a you could be an expert and you could do like you were talking about getting either some rocks or getting some aluminum and
Yeah,
making the
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 pattern on them.
indents, right? And
Yeah,
then get an exacto knife and chop off the sides and sat down those things. You could go to that level, right? And still come out great. But then I'm like, but I've seen brickwork that I'm just like, damn, that's like another level because each individual brick has its own characteristics. It tells a
mm,
story of how old
yeah,
the building looks, and even instead of it all being completely flat,
yeah. There's like,
you may indent it a little bit
yeah,
so they have
yeah,
different levels. Doing it brick by brick, now it's like really it like when I was looking at it earlier, it almost felt like a building built in like Brooklyn back
yeah,
in the 1970s when there was like projects, broken down buildings just
yeah, yeah.
burning. It feels like that. I'm like,
That's
oh,
awesome.
okay, I'm getting there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, so,
That is awesome, dude. Are you hopefully recording this process? See a
oh
camera
yeah,
behind you pointing at it. All right, good.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was gonna say like that's a process that you have to show people because for years I've always thought about that process of doing it brick by brick because it would just add a level, like you just a level of detail that you're not going to get by drawing lines and scoring it.
Hmm.
It's not there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Let me ask you this question. This is usually the last question I ask in terms of the formal stuff. Do you see a shelf life on your collecting days, or are you riding this train until the wheels fall off? You're going to be collecting until the end,
I'm still collecting, but now I'm more selective because
slowing down a bit.
I feel like I got everyone. Like at first, it was like I need to get that one. I need to get that
Hmm.
one,
Right.
and they're not just like I need to get them because everybody's getting them. It was like specific pieces that as I was younger, I was like I can never afford it, and
Yeah.
then as you got getting older, you're like, man, now I can afford it. So I'm getting those specific pieces,
Hmm.
and then I think what's gonna happen is that I'm actually gonna start condensing it down. Where I've seen some guys' collection where they only have one X-Men like top figures, like
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
that's it. Like that's their X-Men, and that's it. They don't have like 3 or 4 Wolverines. It's just like
Yeah.
that's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think at one point I wanna get it to that maturity level where I don't need to have every variation from
Okay.
every toy company.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I'll get to that point if anything. But I right now at this moment, like it's even harder to get even a toy that I really want because I'm like I don't need that one. I don't need this one. I don't
Yeah.
need that one. So now I've become more selective. So like right now, lately, I've been storm collectibles like hard. Like
Okay. That's
um
your line essentially.
yeah, because like I love Street Fighter, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Kings of Fighters, Fatal Fury, and then like recently they made Joe Higashi, and I'm like, yes. And
Yeah.
they already got Andy Bogart, so I'm like, I'm waiting for his brother,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, that feels great.
Okay.
Like I just got this guy Ed Gein. I don't know if you guys,
All right. Right on.
Kiki
That's King of
Howard,
Fighters, right?
guy from Kings of Fighters and
Yeah.
Fatal Fury.
Yeah.
So like now it's just more like I don't like I before when you see announcements from either Hasbro's or from NECA, you kind of get excited. You're like, all right, I can't wait. This last time, what I think it was New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con, I wasn't as excited as I would normally
Wasn't hit.
was.
Yeah, it doesn't hit as much. Like I noticed that with a lot of collectors now. Because to me, like what happened to me was space became a problem.
Mhm.
I had just lost I lost my father a couple months ago, so like
Oh,
priorities kind of shift. You know what
right.
I'm saying? When traumatic things like that happen. And one afternoon, I was sitting here in the summer, over the summer, and I was just kind of like, you know what, dude? You never thought in your wildest dreams they would be making GI Joe, He Man, all this stuff now, but you can honestly tell yourself that you have it all.
Yeah.
Like I have, my favorite GI Joe figures or characters when I was a kid. I have He Man. I have Skeletor.
Right.
I have all 4 Ninja Turtles from that movie. I have the '89 Keaton Batman. I have a
Right.
comic book accurate Batman. I have all the Wolverines I could ever ask for. I mean, there's
Right.
only one more that I'm waiting on, and it's that World War II Wolverine.
Oh, okay. Okay. I know
And
you're talking about with
yeah,
the helmet.
the helmet and the bone claws. I was just like,
Yeah.
I need that one.
Yeah.
You say you justify it real quick. I need that, but um, it just became to a point where I was just like, you know what? I think it's time to start playing with them. Like you
Right.
have them now. Now it's time to start shooting. Go to
Right.
work, man. You
Right.
don't need to. Because I've noticed this, I've noticed it starting to circulate within everybody on within their toy channels. Is you get a figure, you open it up, and you immediately just throw it to the side because it's time for the next one to open up.
Mhm.
Like you
Mhm.
don't have like when I was a kid, I didn't have money like that. So my parents would buy
Right.
me an action figure. You would cherish that
Yes.
one figure because you
Right.
don't know if you were going to get another one. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I always felt like, dude, you're not doing that no more. You're not cherishing what you got. You're just tossing it to the side to grab the next one. And
Mhm.
it's time to start playing. It's time to start cherishing these
Right.
things. I do a thing that's called play motion, where it's kind of like stop motion, but it's basically like it's like the best way I can describe it to you is watching the old commercials where you saw
Mhm.
the kids playing with their toys. Whereas
Mhm.
I essentially do that with my figures, and I write an actual movie story because I went to film school as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, when I was in I went from wrestling, I got hurt, so I couldn't wrestle no more.
Mm.
And one of my trainers said to me, "Well, why don't you get into the production side of things? Because nobody does that." And that's
Mhm.
what it's like. Oh shit, And I got into all that stuff. And when I came out of that, um, I didn't want to make movies. but because I didn't want to work with people. Like I just don't like I don't like working with a lot of people. So I just kind of was like, you know what? You can do it with your toys. You can
Right.
write a script. You can voice it. I
Right.
always wanted to be a voice actor. You can voice it and have fun. And if someone doesn't get it, they don't get it. But
Right.
at least this is your contribution to the toy space, is
Right.
showing people how to play with the toys. You know,
Hmm.
we can make dioramas, we can collect, we can hang it from the shelf and the everywhere, but no one really takes the time to show you how to actually have fun with these things, and that could
Right.
be your contribution. And that's how I got into it, and I lost it because I got into that FOMO where it's like every month they were releasing something. You were like, "Oh, I have to have
Yeah.
that. I have to have that. Oh God, this one's coming out. I have to have that." And you're not, again, you're not playing. You're just
Right.
chasing,
Right.
and I always consider this like what you do and what Al does and what we're playing with our toys.
Right.
We just
Right.
it's a grown up way of
Right.
playing with your toys, whether it's photography, stop motion, diorama making. There's a form of play there that we hold dear to our hearts because it brings us back to when we were children, like you said,
Hmm.
playing on the couch, and the couch was the base, the wall
Right.
unit was the base, so whatever it was you were using, that's where it takes us. And
Right.
and to me, the one thing I wanted to find out of this, and I'm so happy that I did, was that we're all in the same boat. And this is our
Hmm.
safe space.
Yeah.
We're always
Yeah.
happy to talk about it and share about it
Right.
because in the end, this is what this is all we got. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
and it's good to know that guys like you are out there. It's good to know that guys like Al Figures and so many other. I'm forgetting names. There's so many great creators out there that show you how to play with these things, show you how to enjoy them the right way.
Right.
It's cool to just leave them in a box and hang them up. It is. I have a
Yeah.
couple right here. It's cool to take them out and put them on a shelf. I have that right here. There's
Yeah.
another level when you
Right.
build a diorama or when you actually film and shoot a great picture and you're like, that looks like
Yeah.
a comic panel, things
Hmm.
like it just there's another level. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy that there is other people out there like me that
Yeah.
feel that way. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
It's a great thing to have, dude. And like I said,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're told this daily, but now that I know you, I'll tell you every fucking day. But you are one of the best in
Appreciate
terms of
you.
diorama making and and inspiring. Like I don't I could say we could sit here for the next 3 hours and try to figure out a list, but I can tell you right now, you and Al probably top two. Like at
Yeah.
least for me, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak
Right.
for myself. And
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
brother, I cannot thank you enough for coming on here and hanging out
No,
with me.
no, it's
To
awesome. I love talking shop and
This
all
is the
things.
best, man. Like I said,
Right.
to me, I started this channel for this exact moment to say that now I know you. And if I ever see you at a toy show, I can now come up to you and say, "Hey, what's up, bro?"
Yeah.
And there's no awkwardness, there's
At
no
all.
weirdness. Like we know each other now. Like,
Right. Right. Right.
and that's you know I measure success that way. I tell people all the time. I don't measure success in the numbers. If this
Right.
channel ended tomorrow, I would honestly say that it has been the most successful. I have a wrestling channel that
Okay.
has a lot of subscribers.
Nice.
It has a lot, and we went viral. We did all that shit. I did all that shit. It was cool, you
Right.
know, but it was wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really I didn't do it.
Right.
The matches did it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is mine, and I can honestly
Right.
say that my success was measured in meeting guys like you and telling you right to your face what you did for me. That to me is the true measure of my channel, and I can never thank any of you guys enough for coming on here and taking the time because I know you got children, you got a job, you got dioramas to get to, and you can take the fact that you took an hour plus out of your time to just sit with me and talk
For sure, man.
truly means the world to me, brother. So I mean, thank
No.
you from the bottom of my
No.
heart.
No, and thank you for creating these opportunities because it's always good to it's great to hear, I'm humble of like I'm inspiring people, but at the same time I want the community to not be afraid to
Yeah.
talk, to
Yeah.
share,
Yeah.
right? I'll say this, like the other inspiration that made me do all this is that I, for the first time ever in my life, went through a little bit of depression when I did that big
Mm,
change, right?
yeah.
And then when I saw that, like, these are foundational things that I've always, like, wait a minute, like I took it for granted. It was like, stay productive, right? If you catch yourself bored, hey, get up, go exercise, do whatever it is, right? But go up and try to make that first step for anything that you want to do, and then that's
Absolutely.
that's the journey for success and
Yeah.
positivity.
Yeah.
So this whole thing for me is just like, if this made me feel good and it helped me out through those times, I'm sure all of us, especially when we were going through the pandemic, a lot of people were going
For
through
sure.
a
Oh yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
demons, right?
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
like if I could give you this so that you could feel a lot better, or bring that childlike wonder back again, then like that is my biggest reward right there.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
man.
be able to create that, and that's why these channels are important. Having these conversations are important, because it's just, you're rejuvenating that feeling. You know, there's a community out there. You're not alone,
Yeah.
and we all like this. Like, I don't know if our kids are gonna have these kind of moments like we do, right?
Oh
Where
yeah. Absolutely.
toys are rare, but
Yeah.
like for us, this is special. This is special, and
Yeah.
I
I always
want to.
say that we're the last of a dying breed.
Yeah, we
You
are.
know, we were the last ones that kind of didn't have technology.
Right.
You know, like we were the ones who kind of adopted it because it was at its infancy. It wasn't as good as it is
Mm-hmm.
today. You know, we knew about computers and shit like that, but it wasn't like I
Right.
had in the 80s and 90s. I didn't have a computer. You know what I'm saying? So like
Right.
I don't know about it. You know, so to me, toys played such an integral part in my life. They
Right.
they they helped me. They helped me
Mm-hmm.
feel safe. They helped me get creative. They helped me grow my imagination, which I think is sorely lacking in today's generation. They don't have the ability to create
Yeah.
in their minds because video games and all this shit just creates it for you. You just gotta
Right.
watch and play through it, you know. So
Right.
I always say, man, we are the last of a dying breed. Like we're the last
Mm-hmm.
generation of that don't know what it's like to not
Right.
have that stuff. Like we
Right.
know what it was like not to have that shit. We're fine with it. Like I said, to my
Right.
wife, like my wife's much younger than I am, you know. But I tell her, it's like if they took that stuff from you, you guys would go crazy. Whereas I would just pick up an action figure and start working. You know,
Right.
like that. That'd
Right.
be it. That just because that's from my generation, from a kid. That's what I remember. I didn't have a
Mm-hmm.
computer. I didn't sit in front of a computer and veg. I had a toy and I vegged. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
that's what you do. You know. So again,
Yeah.
I'm just glad that this entire space is like that. Like when you start
Mm-hmm.
to talk to people, we all have the same exact same mindset. You
Mm.
know, it's just we're different parts in our life. You know,
Right.
you're like some people have a wife and kids, some people are career driven, you know, but at the end of the day, we all come back home and play with our toys. And I
Yeah.
think that's what brings us all together, you know. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
buddy, thank you, man. For real. Thank you so much. And you guys, you can catch Drip Mode over on his YouTube and his Instagram. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to him, you need to subscribe. The link and everything will be in the description below. And you can see all of his amazing diorama work. Obviously, do you do commissions currently?
No, not at the moment. Not at the
Oh,
moment.
okay. So, but seriously, go check him out, and I promise you, you will be highly impressed with the craftsmanship and just the work that he does. And like I said, he teaches you in the video. So if you were kind of thinking about making something, I'm sure there's a video on his channel that'll help you get there. So go
Yeah.
over there and give him a subscribe. And I appreciate all you guys for hanging out and watching us. This is Drip Mode. I am Tony. This has been Talking Figures. And until next time, everybody, keep playing, man. Take it easy.
Peace out.